This is Wake Up and Lead, a daily podcast where ambitious young professionals learn to lead themselves. Today, we are talking about fellowship, and the title of this is Talk on the Phone. And I have a few people in my life who I love dearly, who I feel like call me more than I call them, and I feel like they're more likely to answer than I am. And to those people listening to this, I am sorry. I think there's this interesting balance where you've got to be mindful about your phone and maybe have it on do not disturb, but I sometimes miss people. And so for me, I'm more of like a scheduler of a phone call. But you do have those people in your life that you need to answer and you need to identify who those people are. Maybe your family, maybe a few people. Like, for example, I love this quote from Andy Stanley. He says, "Do for one what you wish you could do for everyone in the world." So for me, it's like I wish I got to answer every single time that somebody calls me and talks to them. But if I did that, not that I have people calling me, round the clock, but I wouldn't get done the things that are a priority for me. But at the same time, there are people that when they call, I do try to always answer. All that said, the point of this episode is when it comes to fellowship, you don't always have to be sitting down getting coffee for an hour and a half. I actually have someone that I work with. His name is Gavin DeWitt. And on Friday mornings lately, instead of doing like a Zoom call because we work together, he lives in Missouri. We have been talking on the phone and both going outside and walking. And this is something that I haven't talked about enough on this podcast. Getting 10,000 steps a day, in my opinion, should be a non-negotiable for you. And that's about it's about an hour of walking if you kind of live your normal day, and you'll get the steps in other areas. It's so good to be outside and get sunlight. It is so good to get steps in. And you're doing two things at once. You're talking to someone on the phone while getting steps in outside in nature. And that has been something that I've really, really enjoyed. Maybe it's just a me thing. Maybe this is like a counseling session for myself. But a lot of times when people want to catch up and talk on the phone or something, I definitely want to do it. But it's like you can't sit around and talk all day. One of the things that I really prioritize is moving my body, feeling good, getting steps in, getting sunlight. And one of the easiest ways to get that is when you're talking on the phone with someone, because I don't know about you, but for me, I try to be efficient and maximize everything. And relationships is one of those things that you can't, it's hard to hack, you've got to be present with people. And so while it's always best to be face to face, I've found that, for certain people, maybe if they are far away or we can't meet up in person, talking on the phone is great. But instead of sitting on the couch, get outside and get some steps in, and you're getting the sunlight and movement. And it's like a 2-for-1. I love a 2-for-1. My favorite 2-for-1 in the world is this protein shake, which I know probably has processed stuff in it that isn't good for you, but it has caffeine and protein in it, which is just awesome. That's a side note. I love a 2-for-1, and a great 2-for-1 is talking to people on the phone, catching up with friends, ask them intentional questions, just like you would if you were getting coffee or something, but you're getting outside and walking and talking, and you'll feel a lot better because you're getting steps in, you're getting sunlight, and you'll also be able to make time for those people that you want to talk to on the phone. It's time for you and me to wake up and lead.